Now let's look at some examples of both well-executed active listening techniques and some impediments to communication that we might encounter while trying to determine a customer's problem.
Hello, we're having a problem connecting to our servers.
A problem with the servers? What kind of a system administrator would say that?
Okay, what's the problem? This is an example of judging. Right off the bat, our bad listener has unconsciously set a negative tone for the conversation.
Hello, we're having a problem connecting to our servers.
I'm sorry to hear that. Can you describe the problem for me? Our good listener reacts encouragingly and empathetically to the caller.
That
Yes,
was a great
since
game
this
last
morning our
night.
Windows clients have not
remember
been
to pick up
able
my
to
dry
open
cleaning.
two shares
Server
presented
problems, huh?
from
I'll
the
give 'em the old
VNX.
standby.
Yeah, sounds like you changed the server IP address. Our bad listener is not focused on the question. He only hears what he wants to hear. Because he hears server problem, a phrase he remembers from his previous experience, he jumps to a conclusion that is associated with that experience.
Yes, since this morning our Windows clients have not been able to open two shares presented from the VNX.
Okay, your Windows clients have not been able to open two shares presented from the VNX since this morning. Can you tell me what time this morning? Our good listener mirrors the information that the caller initially stated and then asks a follow-up question. We also see he's taking notes as the conversation proceeds, which will allow him to track the information that's been captured and to use that information for further analysis. Hey, quiet down, will you? Some of us are trying to work here. I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat that? There's a lot of noise here. Our bad listener's physical environment is noisy and not conducive to communication. Problems with the physical environment, noise, temperature issues, uncomfortable seating, anything that impedes the comfort of both the caller and the respondent will have a negative effect on overall active listening techniques and have to be adjusted for and, in some cases, overcome.
Yes, it was about 10 o'clock when the problem started. We can access other shares presented from the VNX. It's just the two HR shares that are down.
So, two shares presented from the VNX and used by HR have been accessible for about 2 hours. Is that right? Our good listener is paraphrasing the information that the caller has given so far. As part of this technique, he restates the information in his own words, but he also asks the caller to confirm the correctness of what he said.
Yes, that's right. And see here, young man, it's been almost 2 hours. I've got to get those shares up and online now.
Yes, sir. I'm sure it's that IP address change. I wanted to check on that, and I'm sure you'll be all set. Our bad listener is experiencing emotional distortion, both from the caller's suddenly angry tone and his own fear of being written up for bad job performance. Because of this, he manipulates the situation to suit the conclusion that he has already come to earlier in the conversation.
Yes, that's right. And see here, young man, it's been almost 2 hours. I've got to get those shares up and online now.
I'm very sorry for the inconvenience, sir, and I'll do everything I can to get your shares back online. Can you tell me if there have been any recent configuration changes? Our good listener uses intentional silence to diffuse the suddenly angry tone the caller has taken. He then takes an encouraging and empathetic tone and continues to gather the information by asking further questions. Intentional silence is a useful technique in emotionally infused situations.